All right. Hey guys, welcome to another Tech Tip Tuesday. Here we are. We're at the latter part of July already. Oh my gosh, time flies when you're having fun, right? So welcome everybody. I love having all the repeat folks that come in and check things out every week. And I also am welcoming the new people. So thanks for being here. Let's just chat about what we're going to do tonight. This is a chat-based forum where we will unpack and understand a lot of the technical things about Healy, including maybe theory, concepts, understandings, ideas around the Healy itself and the apps and how the Healy works. So that's what we can do. I am joined by amazing co-host Jake Barron. Hi, Jake. Thanks for being here.
And everyone.
Hey there. And we have our customer service agent in the background. Is that Henry there today tonight?
Yes, Henry is helping out tonight.
Right on. Well, Henry, I think this is the first time Henry's been on. Is that correct?
It is. This is Henry's first time on Tech Tip Tuesday. So he's excited. We're excited. So anything, you can find him under Healy Tech Support as always. But
right on. Well, welcome, Henry. And thanks for supporting us in the background with those lightning fingers. So, hey, guys, if you have questions, you know that Henry's going to be back there helping us out as well. So here's what we can do. What we can do is we can answer things around the technical content, around the operations and the systems of Healy. My name's Ken Close. Hi, for those of you who don't know me. I've been with Healy for, over 2.5 years now. I'm an engineer, and I bring my expertise, experience, and background to the table and understanding about the Healy. What we can't do is we can't treat, diagnose, or prevent any kind of injury or disease or disorder. We can't really give recommendations on what programs to use, but trust me, we will be able to unpack any of the other things that you guys want to understand. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. Well, hey, let's get this party started. I'm on a mobile, by the way. I'm actually not in my computer at home or in my home office. I am out in a remote location, which is fun because we can live our life, we can have our business anywhere in the world, right? So that's where I'm at today, in a remote location, coming to you live. Maybe you can guess where I'm at. I don't know. You can maybe see that peak back there. Maybe you guys who knows this demographic, you can maybe figure out where I'm at. I'm not going to tell you. Okay. All right, guys. What do we got, Jake?
Well, we have, first question that I see is one we've had every week the last few weeks is, why does the Analyse app go to a blue screen when running for a time? So, this is something, if you've been on this call, we've kind of talked about this briefly for a little bit each time. And it's definitely a known issue. And I mentioned on last week's call that there's a fix for this that's being addressed in the next update. So the most recent update is the one that's been rolling out slowly, where the master key process has changed. The actual physical master key that you need to actually have on your device, that's going away, and everything's going to be pulled from the cloud. So no longer will you have to worry about where you saved your master key or whatever. You just log in on your device. If it's on a new device, it's going to do a little two-factor authentication, meaning it's going to email a 6-digit code to your the email address on your Healy account, and then you'll use that to install the app if you're doing it on a new device or have to reinstall as a security procedure. And that's going to pull all of your data down from the cloud, not from the actual master key saved onto your phone or somewhere else. But that's what's going out right now, and then the update that's going to be coming after that is going to address and fix this blue screen issue that some people have been having. The sort of the workaround right now for that, until we get to there, is if you're running a program for a long period of time, it's recommended to fully close out of the app before you run another program. That's been helping people with that particular issue. So it's not convenient to have to do that each time, and but until that next update is available, that's sort of the troubleshooting or tips that we're providing for that. Okay.
All right. Well, so just to expand on that a little bit, is that a couple of the things understand what the blue screen is. What is the blue screen specifically? If we look at it from maybe a technical aspect, the app itself is a program. Your blue dot, your pink dot, they're programs. And they simply operate within the, let's call it the parameters of their resources. And so blue screen is typically not necessarily the fact that the app, or I should say the Healy has stopped functioning. It's just that the monitoring system, what you see on your phone, has stopped functioning. So blue screen is kind of like a default, right? It's like, I don't know. Have you ever crossed your legs and where your foot goes numb? And that signal coming from your foot is noise. It's a default signal, like tingly. So it's kind of like that with software, with the what's called the CPU or the processor with your smart device. It doesn't know what to show you, so it's blue screen. Okay, so what Jake is talking about, the upgrade that's coming to the app is going to help solve that. So take a look at your device. Look at the Healy. Is the blue light, the Bluetooth light still flashing? And is the green light still flashing? If the answer is yes, then most likely, even though you can't see it on the app, the system is still working in the background. Okay, which is kind of cool, right? Well, cool and uncool. I can't see what's going on. But the point is, it's still operating in the background. So the Healy itself, the hardware itself, this guy is telling you the blue dot or the blue flashing light and the green flashing light that's still operating in the background. So we look forward to that upgrade. All right.
Yeah, I know. We do too, of course. No, the experience hasn't been great for the people that do have this issue. It's certainly been a little frustrating, and we understand that. And I think we're very close to finally being able to put that past us, and it won't be a topic on future tech tip calls. So, okay. Next question I see here says, I've been running all of my programs on the low power default setting for quite a while now. Should I consider switching to the high power setting just to see if I get a better result? Are there any situations where you would not recommend making the change from low to high power? So this is referring to all Healys by default ship at the low current setting. And the reason for that is, of course, some people are very sensitive to microcurrent, and you don't want to automatically have this at the low setting, because not everyone needs to switch to the high current, high power setting. The low is fine for a large number of people as well. And we're specifically talking about the pink dot app here when using the microcurrent or the coil. But there, as far as should you consider switching? If you want to try it out, there's really, it's a very simple process. You do it through the HealAdvisor app. There's a setting in there where you can update the setting, your configuration from low to high, and then you can try it out, run a few programs. If it's not for you, if you think it's too strong, you can always change it back. Just you do the same process again, sort of in reverse, and it's easy enough to kind of do that. So, Ken, what do you think about that? I mean, a lot of people do like to run it on the high current because a lot of people, the tolerance sensitivity is a little bit different from person to person. So it seems like it's something that worth trying at least. It's available, and maybe it would give you possibly a better result depending on what program you're running.
I love this question because first of all, my position in anything that we do is to use the body as the rudder, use the body as the measuring stick, right? So let's go into a little bit of the principle about this. Microcurrent itself is a modality. It's just let's call it like a pail or a carrier to transfer the frequencies into the body at the electron level. Okay, so what's that mean specifically? Well, every cell within our body has millions of electrons within the cell. And we're delivering a pulse at a specific frequency to those cells, or actually I should say to the whole body. It's just that very specific cell structures are receiving based on the instruction from the program. Okay, if it's my favorite, muscle, from the fitness page, if it's muscle, then just my muscles are receiving the particular frequencies. I'm not saying that the whole body's not getting them, but they are. just the muscle. So when it comes to intensity, now here's the concept. Understand that when the mind becomes aware of anything, it puts all of its energy within that awareness, right? Where we place our attention is where we place our energy. So if the body is feeling some sensation from the microcurrent, you've got the wristbands on, yes? And you feel some pulsation, you feel some tingling, you feel something. The mind goes to the area in which it feels that. And at the moment the mind goes there, the mind starts to become an interference. Maybe not the right word, but an interactive agency with the experience. And the interactive agency can shift the experience, right? The reason that most of our healing happens when we're asleep is because Ken's out of the way, right? The consciousness is out of the way and the body is allowed to heal. And it does it at a subconscious level. So when we feel something, intensity is high and we feel this pulsation, this jerking, this tingly, this whatever, even if it's gratifying, the mind goes to the point of concern. And there's a down regulation of the cell's experience with that interface. So the idea is to go to where you can feel it and back it off a click. You follow me? So you increase the percentage. Now, I want you to understand that not all frequencies are the same, meaning that lower frequencies, typically below 500 hertz, are going to be need a little more punch to get through the density of the body. And the reason for that is because the lower the frequency, the closer to density. In other words, the closer to this three-dimensional body, right? And so it takes a little bit more oomph to get through the three-dimensional body. So you may have to up the intensity a little bit in order for that to happen. So I recommend that what you do is you run a program and monitor those lower frequencies. Don't just set your intensity settings and leave it. Interact with it for a while. And so when those lower frequencies come in and you feel the tingling, back it off a little bit. The last measuring stick as to what to set the intensity to is the white or black indication. In other words, on the progress bar, it's going to show you white, meaning proper conductivity to the body. And when I say proper, that just means it's above the minimum threshold current flow that Healy has set. It's just a set point. Black meaning below the threshold. So maintaining a white indicator with those lower frequency vibrations, now you're at the sweet spot, right? Just below the sensation feeling. I know people will say more is better. No, that's not true. So play with it, feel it, interact with it, and let your body give you feedback. Okay, make sense? All right, awesome, Jake. Thanks for that. What else do we got?
So next question we have here is, says my Resonance app has been taking very long when I run all Healy programs or whichever program recently. Anything I can do? So the Analyse app is it uses a lot of data, there's a lot of content there. And if it's slowing down recently, if nothing else has changed, I mean, it could be something related to your connection, the strength of your connection there. Ken, anything else you might want to?
Yeah, absolutely. So I always go back to our resource. What are our resources? The bare minimum resources are your smart device. Okay, what are you operating the program from, aka the app? What are the resources on that smart device? If you're using a tablet, an Android, iOS system, whatever it is, what are the resources available? And when I talk about resources, I'm talking about how much memory does that particular device have? If you've put a lot of pictures, videos, apps, whatever, and the resources available are low. So in other words, how much memory does this device have? If you're below, if you have consumed, I'll write this down, consumed more than 75% of the resources available on your smart device. And you can go into your settings and find out how much memory has been used on your smart device. If you don't know how to do that, what do I always say? Go back to YouTube. There's some movie star out there that's giving you an app or a video on how to do that. So go to YouTube, Google, or not Google, but go to YouTube, search, how do I find out how much memory is left on my Android, on my iOS, whatever it is. And then you'll get the answer. So like I said, if you're below, if you're above, in other words, the consumed amount of 75%, in other words, below 25% resources available, you could be having some slowdown issues. And it's not Healy related. I always tell you and speak about Healy, the apps being resource hungry. They want to have maximum resources, making sure that all the apps in the background are closed down, hard closed, not just swiped away, hard closed. And again, go to YouTube, figure out how to do it. Yeah, right? Depends on the device you're using. There's different ways to hard close or hard stop a particular app. Make sure they're all closed, all of them. You don't need to be checking your email or worrying about a text or even trying to make a phone call when you're using your Healy, because you're trying to heal the body. Stay in tune with that and focused on that. Especially now, the blue dot, by the way, is a real-time connection between the smart device and the Healy. You can't do anything else. You can't do anything else. You can't take a phone call. You can't watch a YouTube video. You can't do anything else. You need to be present with that action, with that operation. Okay, so check your resources first, and then the rest is about having the most current operating system on your smart device, as well as the most current app version. Okay. All right.
Excellent. Okay, so Ken, I'm going to answer this next question, but if you get a chance, could you make my second account? I just added co-host, the other Jake Barron, on here I wanted to show something related to how to change the current, because there was a couple people asking about that. Okay. So next question we have here is, it says, should we always feel a sensation when running the pink dot with the electrodes or wristbands? If we don't feel it, does that mean it's not working? The line is white. So that's another great question. Kind of goes along with what Ken was talking about earlier there. And there's definitely a case where some people, if they don't feel that sensation, they don't feel that it's working, even though that line is white. But there's a certain point in time where if you're feeling too much, it's putting your body, like Ken, you always explain this very well, but it's like something's wrong here, and it doesn't let the microcurrent do its job. So I think the recommendation a lot of times is adjust that intensity right to where you can feel a little bit of sensation, and then back it down, one notch, and then that's an ideal spot. And of course, you always want the line to be white. So, and as Ken mentioned earlier, the lower frequencies take a little bit more power to get through. So when you first start a program, it's always good. It might be white when you first start. Some of the frequencies might be a little bit higher, and then as it drops down to a lower frequency, you might notice that line turned black for the period of time that low frequency is, and it goes from black to white depending on how high or low that frequency is. So you want to kind of adjust it to where it stays white, even for those lower frequencies as well. Is always a good tip there. So Ken, anything to add for that question there?
No, it's exactly what I was talking about earlier about how to. Yep, there's some parameters that we have to make sure of, and like I said, to monitor the program for a period of time. Monitor the program for a period of time, and set it based on the lower. I'm below 500 hertz. Set it to that. And I'm sorry about my background noise, folks. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yeah, you can hear you fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of background noise where I'm at. So just traffic and people talking all right. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. So no, it's brilliant, Jake, exactly how it should be. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen real quick. Henry, thank you for putting that link into the chat there. Because when the HealAdvisor app was updated, it's been a couple months now, but the process or how it looks to actually change the current is a little bit different in the settings. So I'm just going to show on my phone real quick what that looks like. So just give me 1 second here. Let's see. Let's start this. Okay. So I'm going to go, I have my, this is the regular HealAdvisor app. A lot of people refer to this as the search app, or if you have natural cycle, you notice that this is where all that is. It's kind of where all the subscription modules live, but we're going to go in here and we're going to scroll all the way down. Actually, you don't have to scroll all the way down. I'm just kind of showing you what the screen looks like. These are pretty much all the subscriptions that live within the HealAdvisor app. But at the bottom, you'll see in the bottom right, there's a little settings icon. If you click on settings, and then if you go to MagHealy, and then this is where you change the current level. So it's pretty simple. You know, you'll see here, I have a ton of Healys on my account because of all the demo devices and stuff. So you see I have all of these set to high current, but if you want to switch, all you do is you go to the serial number that you're wanting to adjust. You just click the switch button, and then it's going to kind of show you the process here. This is an important note. After you click switch, it doesn't automatically change. You actually have to go to your Healy Pink Dot app, go to the settings, check for updates for that new configuration to take effect. So that's the key step that some people, if you're kind of rushing through this, you might miss, but it's very simple to do. And like I said before, you can change it. You can switch from low to high. You can run a program like, oh, this is too much. I don't like the way the sensation, whatever. And you can just go right back to your HealAdvisor app, click switch, and this time go from high to low. But again, you'll need to go back to check for updates in your Healy Pink Dot app to actually change that configuration back to low. But it's very simple, and it's an excellent feature that was, man, it was probably what, March of last year that this was added approximately. But yeah, it's a feature that not everybody knows about, because like I said before, it does ship by default at the low current setting. So
Right. And the reason that was set up, by the way, is that the original wristbands were a medical grade silicon conductive material, right? They were the black wristbands, right? And there was a point of time, as you know, everybody, COVID kind of gave us a little bit of a lack of abundance within resources. And so Healy had to come up with a solution because there was not enough materials to be able to produce the original wristbands. And so they came up with an alternative, which is a different material. And the material was a not silicon, it was a silver conductive material that was more well, let me put it this way. It was less resistive than the silicon material. And so current flow was easier to get to the body. And so people were freaking out because they had these wristbands that were more productive, we'll call it that way. And the Healy had no way of really turning it down. People were used to a certain setting, right? So let's say you were used to 50% and you use these new wristbands, and what would happen was you felt more sensation, like not just one times, but like 5 times more sensations with these new wristbands. And so people weren't turning it down. And there were some folks that were having some issues with the skin. So Healy created this ability to have high current flow and low current flow. So you can still use either wristband and be able to adjust it to your liking. All you have to understand, folks, is the reason you've got from 0% to 100% on the intensity level is for your customability. Don't go by what you felt on yesterday's program and setting it at 40%. And today, all of a sudden, it's a higher sensation or a lower sensation. Go ahead and make the adjustments day by day, moment by moment. You are a different person every single moment. So don't use yesterday's technology or understanding to predict today's or tomorrow's outcome. Okay. So that's a great way to adjust it by simply going from, you can go all the way down to 0%. And some cases, some frequencies, even though you have a 0% intensity, is still above that minimum conductivity threshold. All it's looking at is how much is this system, or I should say, is this current flow, electron flow, getting through the body or not? That's all. White or black, yes or no?
yeah.
All right.
Excellent. Next question here is a question about the watch. Somebody, they got their watch and there's some little silver bars on the back that fell off. They're asking if they should put in a sport ticket. Sure, definitely. In that case, make sure you put in a sport ticket, but include pictures too of the back of the watch showing where those fell off, and our support team will take care of that and get a new one shipped out to you. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why there's a warranty on everything. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, tech support guys are doing an amazing job keeping up on those tickets. I remember a time, before Jake's time, and this is a lot of what Jake has done coming to us guys, by the way, in head of operations, to get our systems operating more efficiently, operating more in real time and catching up. And they've done an amazing job. So Jake, in terms of right now, say an average turnaround time on a ticket, what is that?
Well, it kind of depends. There's not one answer to that because it depends on the type of question it is. If it's going into tech support, if it's going into regular support, if it needs to be reviewed by compliance, if it's an account change. We have Canada now, account transfers and stuff like that. But in general, it's a couple days to get something handled. But the key part is we've improved a lot upon of getting things resolved on the first try. It doesn't take as much back and forth a lot of times now to get things resolved because our team is very much more experienced and they're doing an excellent job. And then specifically on the tech side, if there's an issue that we can't resolve and it's going back and forth. In those cases, as I mentioned a couple of times on this call, our team is doing Zoom calls where they can say, hey, this would be easier for us to fix if we can kind of see what's going on your screen. Then we send out a single-use booking link for a Zoom call. It kind of pulls up, it shows the availability of whichever tech support rep is handling that for their calendar of the times that they're available for a Zoom call. You can pick a time that works well for you on your schedule, and then they'll do a Zoom call for you, and we're able to solve most issues that way that we aren't able to resolve through the ticketing system. So it's something that we're kind of expanding as we go, and that's actually something that we started here in the Americas, and we're really the only hub sort of doing that around the world. So it's a feature that we are kind of proud of because it does take in a lot of times the ticketing system. It's something that we can see on the screen, like, okay, that's what's going on, or it's a Wi-Fi issue or a cellular issue or a settings issue, or there's other interference and stuff like that. And Henry on this call, he's definitely been doing a lot of Zoom calls recently as well, and a lot of success stories coming out of those. So.
I'll tell you what, I remember now you're like a couple of days. Oh my gosh. I remember it was a couple of weeks. This is a long time ago, right? This is a long time ago. And a year ago, even a year ago. I mean, Jake, you've been here a year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been 1 year and 7 months.
Yeah. I mean, things started to improve a lot. So thank you, US corporate team, and what we can do here in the US. Thank you. I just want to say that. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, what else?
All right. So let me see where we left off here.
Trying to see the chat myself, but I'm on a mobile device, so it's like I don't know where we're at. So I like this one. I'm just going to jump into this one real quick. It says, how long would you expect frequencies to remain active in the body? So this is a great question because we're always looking at what's going on. So what should we expect for results in microcurrent? So first of all, when we use this microcurrent technology at a certain point, so in other words, the first part of the Pink Dot app, its job is to analyze. It's looking to find resonance with your body and the modality or the purpose of the program. Whatever the program is, let's say you're running skin program, let's say you're running a chakra program, whatever it is, there's a purpose of that program, right? So step one is to find the resonance of your body, and the purpose of the program. And from each of these programs, there is a huge resource pool of frequencies available to accomplish the task. And when I say a huge resource, we're talking like hundreds of frequencies available in each one of those programs as a resource pool. So how does it know exactly which frequencies to pull out and use on you? It's finding your resonance. It's finding your body's unique, when I say resonance, it's your unique vibration, right? Your unique signaling. And then with your unique signaling and the purpose of the program, it picks specific frequencies to apply to you, the host, the organism. And then it starts to apply them. It picks about, 3, 6, 9, depends. But it picks a grouping of frequencies, and then starts to do, after a while, it starts to do an analysis. This is the feedback loop. Guys, this is the amazing part of Healy. And I want to tell you, there's a lot of technology out there in frequency programming. There's a lot of technology out there in healing, in energy healing, but nobody asks permission of the body. All this amazing technology out there is just give, right? Healy is asking permission of the body and then adapting its resource pool to fit you. And guess what? The next time you run that program, it's going to be a new you. So this is the present moment. And in this present moment, when you're running the program, it's unique to you. Okay. So then the next phase, once it implements, the next phase is analysis. And that's where you start seeing the progress report. You guys know what I'm talking about? You see the progress report at the bottom of the screen. Well, just below the oscillating circle, there's a progress and a percentage. It's going to give you feedback anywhere from negative 99% to positive 99%. Negative 99% doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means your body really needs it. It's super necessary for your body in this moment of time. The positive 99% is basically as your body becomes full, as your cup becomes full, let's say. Once you get up to 100%, that particular one frequency, only that one, is kicked out of the routine. So remember I said the resource pool, it's narrowed it down to 3, 6, 9, whatever. When your body becomes 100% resonant with that one frequency, it kicks it out. Healy will never give you what you don't need. It can't, because it doesn't resonate with your body. This is the cool, unique part about how Healy works. Okay, so it kicks it out, it's done. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Anybody, Jake, you want to add to that?
No.
Nope.
Perfection.
All right. Awesome.
Right. So there's a question. Is it okay to place the round adhesive electrodes on the head and neck where it's safe? So, a lot of people kind of see here, specifically in the US, over in Europe, they have ear clip electrodes, which that's part of their the whole setup there. As part of their approval process with Europe, that particular accessory is allowed to be a part of that. For the US, and that wasn't part of the initial FDA clearance. So you'll notice a lot of the programs where it may have been on the ear over in Europe. Over here, it's located in a different part, either on the neck as well. But Ken, what would you say to that? Oh, I think you're muted still.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So the sticky pads, so by the way, the wristbands and the sticky pads are interchangeable. As you notice on the app, it's actually to show you a little round dot. Right? The US compliance had to show sticky pads. Even the wristbands, by the way, weren't part of the equation. And so that's why you notice they come separate. They don't come in the box with the Healy. They're in the shipping container, right? That comes to you, the box, but they're in a separate pouch or a separate package. And that's because they can't put them in the Healy kit that comes to the United States. So there's certain compliance restrictions only because of the FDA clearance that has been obtained. Not because we can't do it, it's just that's the way it works. So the apps had to reflect what is in the box. And what's in the box? The sticky pads. So yes, you can use the sticky pads on your wrists, just like the wristbands. It's not as convenient. So the wristbands and the sticky pads are essentially interchangeable when it comes to applying the frequencies to the body. And you'll see that just on the app, it shows you how to attach, right? And that's those little round dots or the wristbands. Now, placement of the sticky pads. I want you guys to look at principles. And because if I give you principles, you'll empower yourself as to how to use it. So a principle is essentially to what area of the body are you trying to address? So the program itself, what's its purpose? If let's just say my favorite, the fitness page, and it's muscle. So what part of the body are there muscles? Pretty much everywhere, yes? So that's where you place the wristbands or sticky pads on the wrists. You're gonna get globally through the body. And the wristbands are a certain length, so they only fit a certain diameter of body part. You're probably not gonna be able to get them around your leg, your quadricep, or around the knee, but you can put them around your ankle, most likely. So we're trying to apply the frequencies to locations of the body most suitable to the task of the program. Okay. So let's say, like Jake was talking about, some of them, the ear clips are available in Europe. But let's just say, why are they using the ear clips? Well, it's because they're trying to apply the frequencies to the head, or something to do with learning or the emotions, or concepts around the brain. So if you look at the sticky pads, where are they putting the sticky pads? A program that's applying content to the brain is going to be the sticky pads on the back, upper back, which is called the brachial plexus. A large amount of neurological activity going between the brain and the body. Okay. So that's where they would put them. Now you can also, and this is my opinion as a member of Healy, is you can also put them on the mastoid bones, which are right back there at the base of the skull. Okay. Because we're applying those things to the head, to the brain. Can you put them on the face? Sure. If you're looking at skin, if you're looking at jaw, you're looking at even some of the mental concepts. You don't put them on your eyes, obviously. That's, you don't put them on the neck, but the head, that's another place that's acceptable. Just pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your body. Your body is your rudder. I call it the rudder because it's what's kind of guiding the ship. Yeah, the existence of you. Let your body be your guide. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Good question. Next.
Next question. Scrolling back up here, there was a question that says, do you know if the MagHealy is safe for people with pacemakers? And I'm reading directly from the instructions for use that go along with the new MagHealy. This isn't these instructions for use in the manual aren't available for here in the US yet as part of the app. But one of the warnings in the beginning of the instructions for use, not for use by pregnant women, not for use by those with epilepsy, not for use by those with a pacemaker or heart disease. So that's coming straight out of, the instructions for use. And of course, Healy, as well as all companies, need to be extra cautious about these types of warnings because of the legal risk that there is. So definitely, any sort of change or whatever, any condition, we always certainly recommend you also check with your healthcare practitioner as well before you kind of get started on anything new.
To be safe and compliant, you guys know that a corporation has to stay within boundaries, right? What you do is going to be, again, some choices that you make. But again, it's important to make sure that that you use the corporate's guidelines first.
Yep.
And check with your medical professional.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see.
I saw a question that popped through that I thought was quite interesting.
Okay.
But now I'm on a mobile device. Sorry, guys. So it flashes through very quickly.
Okay. Cool. We'll get to this other question here in a little bit. It's one of those 5-in-1s that we covered last week. Two there, but let's see.
You know what? This one comes up a lot. And this is the last one that just popped up is why does prostate programs come up for female or
Yeah.
menstruation local or menopause come up for males? I love this question
Yeah.
because it's such a, let's call it a logical contemplation when it comes up, because why? What are we analyzing the analysis on? Typically, we're analyzing it based on what we know about gender, what we know about physics of the body. But what we're not looking at is ancient technology. So Healy looks at the energy fields of you. It doesn't look at gender. In the information field, folks, by the way, there's no male or female. There's just information. There's no old or young. There's no right or wrong. There's no life or death. Everything's just information. And so when we're looking at things we're looking at things from the quantum field, AKA the information field. This is when I say information field and the specifics around microcurrent or any of the applications that Healy uses, whether it be microcurrent with the pink dot or the information field, AKA the blue dot, or even the coaching module, by the way, folks, this is all just simply information from the quantum field. And there's no biasness. I mean, there's no judgment. And so when it comes to, say, prostate, and there's a program that it contains a frequency resource pool as close as possible to the need of the host. Write that down. As close as possible to the need of the host. There are frequencies within prostate, whether you're male or female. It's the information fields analysis within that region of the body. Where's the prostate? Anybody know? First center. First center. You know what is housed in the first center? Most of our fears, most of our survival issues. And I'll tell you what, every single disease is stemmed from an emotional lowering of vibration. Okay? So when we are in stress response, the body cannot heal. And so if there's something that is triggering a stress response and it's housed in the first energy center or the root chakra, however you want to call it, then Healy's going to find a program to align it, to balance it. And if it's prostate, it's just because the frequencies within that are necessary for the host, male or female. Okay? Same with menstruation. If you're a male, doesn't matter. There's frequencies in there for aligning you. Just go with it. It won't hurt you, I promise. You're not going to turn into a male if you're a woman or vice versa.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tackle some of these questions. We only got about 15 minutes or so left, but some of these questions in this all-in-one, and then we'll move on to some more. And then if time, we'll go back and do the rest of these. But one of the questions is, I've heard that the Healy pink dot programs still work without any cables or the coil. This is from somebody from Toronto, Canada. So welcome to the Healy family. We're happy to have people from Canada joining this call. It's always great. The question is, in this case, how does the frequency go to the body or the field? And what is the difference from applying the cables or coil? So I think a lot of this question comes up from time to time because there's a specific program group. I believe it's bioenergetic support. I believe it's the one, or support or protection, but there's
protection.
Specific programs where they're in the Healy Pink Dot app that show just the Healy clip to, the pocket or the shirt or somewhere, just like this, without any cables or coil. And it's meant, those programs run for a longer period of time. And people then assume, well, if I can do that with that program group, can I do that with any program group within the Healy Pink Dot app? And I think, for that one, there's a specific sort of protection sort of use for those programs versus some of the other ones where you're not going to there may be something coming out of the noise generator, but the other programs were specifically for use with wristbands, electrodes, and that's why it shows on the picture to use those particular things, because those programs are designed for that, the microcurrent, or for use with the coil itself. So Ken, what would you, we've covered this topic a little bit on this call, but
yeah. So those are the bioenergetic defense page, the bioenergetic defense page. If you guys go there and you choose a program, it's going to show you how to apply the frequencies, and it just shows you with the, like Jake said, the device either in on your pocket, your wrist, your waistband, whatever. And what that means is, yes, those particular programs are designed to emit the frequencies out of the noise generator, like AKA the transmitter on the Healy hardware itself. This little guy has a transmitter. So I want to also, let's just, again, go back to principles. You probably would not use a tablespoon to dig a trench, right? Nor would you use a shovel to eat dinner. So understand that these particular programs are designed to implement the content in a specific way. Sometimes wristbands, sometimes location on the body, sometimes without any connections at all. So this is important. It's engineered for a specific way. The bioenergetic defense page has programs designed to implement the frequencies within that modality. So can you hook up with the wristbands? Yeah. Is it still sending out microcurrent? Absolutely. So give it a test drive. Its primary engineering design is to be able to use it without any connections. But it also leads us to believe that the same modality can be done with any of the other pages, right? Which is true. Just test it, give it a test drive. The maximum effectiveness of the engineering of the program is allocated by the app. It tells you how to connect. Go there first and then adjust to your liking second. All right.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Okay, a couple other questions from that larger all-in-one question. It says, while I'm on a flight, can I take the Healy, the cable, coils, blue app, whatever? Sure, yeah, you can use this on the plane. A lot of people do. If I'm on a flight, I prefer to use the coil instead of the cables, just because, people that aren't familiar with Healy, it might look a little strange sitting in your seat, hook up to some cables. It can happen. You might get a little bit look or a question of what is that, but it also initiates a conversation as well, which you could have a potential customer next to you too. So Ken, I know you probably use yours a lot on flights and stuff, but
trust me, I don't recommend this, but I go through security with my Healy on, the wires, the whole works, and they guarantee you're gonna get paddled down, right? They're gonna like, what is that? And so make sure you have plenty of time if you're gonna go through security. But I do it, and why? Because it's like Healy is my partner. It's my partner in healing, or my partner in health, and so I use it. And on the airplane, same way. And you're right, Jake. Folks, it is a conversation generator. I don't know how many times I get asked questions. I'll just tell you, just last night, the server at the restaurant was asking me questions about the device. I'm wearing my Healy just like I am right now on the necklace outside so people could see it. And on the table, I have my phone face up running the program on the app because I want to show the world what's possible, what we can do. And you can't do that by hiding it. You can't do that by stealthing it out, right? And not using it in public. In public is no different than in private when you're trying to heal your body. The body doesn't know the difference, whether you're out to dinner or you're lounging at home. So use your Healy everywhere, anywhere you go, and be ready. Be ready with what to say when somebody says, hey, what is that? Be ready, because they'll ask you.
Yeah. There's a comment here. You don't need to worry about crashing the plane. This is not the signal that's coming out here is not something that's going to interfere with the operation of the plane.
Well, we'll look at it this way. The Bluetooth signal that is coming out of your smart device is no different than your Bluetooth. Well, it's different, but I mean, in terms of the influence on the plane, your Bluetooth headphones. Okay. If you're on the plane listening to some audio content through your Bluetooth headphones, you're actually producing less power with the Healy in terms of influencing any of the avionics or anything to do with the plane than your Bluetooth headphones. Okay, so yeah, absolutely use it. And I'll tell you something, folks. Maybe you don't know what to say when somebody comes up and says, "What is that? What is that? What are you wearing around your neck?" I always say, this is a frequency, an energy frequency system that is aligning every cell in my body. And they're like, I get questions after that. That just opens the door for the next question. And then the conversations begin. So understand what it's doing for you. And here's the fun part. You don't have to have a script. All you have to know is what is it doing for you. You don't need a script when it comes to understanding yourself and what Healy has meant to you. Just share that content. All right. Okay. Next.
The one more part of that question was related to using the Analyse app, the Blue Dot app, while driving. So that's another interesting question. And of course, if you're doing a scan on yourself, we don't recommend you do that while you're driving, while you're in traffic, because the point of that is to be focused and have the right intention there when you're driving, and your results aren't going to be what you want them to be if you're trying to do this. Well, first of all, it's not safe to do that part of it while driving. But if the program is already running and you're just going for a drive, again, it's always, you want to be safe and you not have to be looking at what's going on with the app. And with the Analyse app, the screen has to always be open and active as well. So that's kind of a trickier situation there. So, but yeah, probably not the ideal situation to be using it. Ken, you're muted.
Yeah, if you're driving, so first of all, like Jay said, the intention is to be present. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gardening, it's a little different than if you're driving, right? You can be more present with the moment, and it's all about the moment. If you're in traffic and you're driving, just don't scan. The importance is being present. So yes, you can run microcurrent programs, but to analyze yourself in terms of alignment, and let's say you're in the most high stress response in your life, that's valid to try to find out what aligns you in that moment. But if you're driving, that's just not the most safe environment to try to do an analysis. Yeah. All right.
So save running those programs for a different scenario, or different environment. So, okay. So question here is, when a program ends sooner than expected, so say we're running a program in the Pink Dot app, is that an indication that my body has absorbed all that is needed? So the time, when you're starting a program and you see the amount of time that it has displayed, say it says 52 minutes, that's the maximum amount of time that program will run. It's not necessarily going to run that exact amount of time for you. And then as you're going through programs in the Pink Dot app, you'll see the progress bar indicator. After about 10 minutes, you'll see a percentage that pops up underneath the circle, ranging from a negative 100 to positive 100. And then the lower that number, the more that your body needs that frequency, and the more you're resonating with that particular frequency, the higher that percentage is going to be. So as you see those frequencies kind of switch, and as that frequency comes back around, it may have started at negative, say 87%, and then the next time it comes through in the cycle, it might be at negative 57%. And then the next time it might be, negative 10%. And then it goes to positive. And then as it gets to a high enough percentage, this kicks it out of the cycle. And then it no longer is going to give you that frequency, because you no longer need that particular frequency. So if you're going through these and you're already maybe not in the negative numbers, or you're sort of very small negative numbers, or into the positives, it doesn't need to cycle through that frequency as much. So it is possible for that program to finish sooner than that maximum amount of time that's listed when you started that program. So that's one thing there to just keep in mind. Ken, anything to add on that?
No, I mean, you did awesome. I think that's important. No, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We got 3 minutes left, so let's see if we can.
Lightning round.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see
Wow.
what we got here. Let's see.
Thank you everybody for joining, by the way, and hopefully you were able to invite somebody tonight, and if not tonight, maybe next week.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's see, what's a good question here?
Well, there's a couple questions about your lanyard, and I think every call you get questions about your lanyard. Those were handmade and available from a group that came to our Healy America's Homecoming here in Orlando back in May. And so they're not available for sale through Healy. You know, I think someone posted in one of the prior calls a way to get in touch with them, but yeah, those were handmade in Mexico, kind of a small quantity available there. But
yeah, or you can take on your own cool creativity and make something.
Yeah,
that's always fun.
yeah.
Let's see. So I also want you guys to remember that as Jake was saying, the implementation, all of this analysis that the system is doing is real time. And, you know, if a program ends earlier than the allocated time, I should say the maximum program time, is because your body's absorbed things. I want you to just think about for a moment how much influence your body has. And maybe this is where we close. Our mind, how much influence our mind has on our body. Our mind is probably the most influential entity on how the body is its health. So you can eat the most organic, the most non-GMO, the most vegan meal you want, but if your body is in stress response, it doesn't matter. All the non-essential systems are put offline when you're in stress response. The number one non-essential system when you're in stress response. Now it's essential to life, but it's non-essential when you're in stress response. The number one system is digestion. It's put on hold. It's put on the back burner because when in stress, your body it's not time to digest food. It's time to run, hide, or freeze. So guys, use this mind wisely. Make sure that you spend time every day in a self-care protocol. Self-care protocol is always going to be a proper amount of hydration. The body is over 70% water, and the kidneys and the bladder, there are systems in our body that are key to everything else. All right. So make sure you have a proper amount of hydration. Number two, movement. This body is not designed for stagnation. The moment you decide to sit sedentary will be the moment the body stops healing. Okay. So movement every day. And that just means dance, yoga, walk, stretch, something, roll around on the floor. I don't care. Just move your body. Okay. And I'm saying, 20 minutes a day. You don't have to do it all day or for hours at a time, 20 minutes. That keeps the lymphatic system operating. The heart is the pump for the blood, but the muscles are the pump for the lymphatic system, which is our detox and transfer, or I should say mineral transfer to the cells. All right. Number three, breathe. Everybody, have these huge lungs, 2 of them. Breathe fully, fill the lungs, and let them all go out completely. Full breath, exhale all the way out. Do it on a routine basis. Every breath, let it be full and complete. All right. Number 4, ground your body. Get out there in the dirt, in nature. Spend some time grounding. And my last and probably my favorite, number 5, is to fall in love with life. You need a reason. You need a reason to love what you do. I don't care if you just garden. I don't care if you have conversations with people all day. Love what you do. Those are my little protocols in terms of self-care. Hopefully that helps everybody. I know we're out of time. Thank you all. Love you bunches. Jake, anything in closing?
No, another excellent call. It's interesting. We always get a couple of repeat questions, but every week there's something new that comes up on this call, and we've got a database. It just crossed over 500 questions last week. And
Wow.
I'm working on a way to best utilize we have all the recordings, of course. All these recordings are available on HealyAmericas.com. That's our YouTube page. So if you haven't been there, definitely go there and subscribe. And we're working on something to make it as easy as possible to sort through all this content that we have. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Your questions are so valid, so useful, and certainly get us through these calls. So thanks for being here. Big loves. We'll see you next week. Tell a friend and join us next time. Bye, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye. Thank you.